And a good morning to everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday. Anybody out here in the LA area, it's nice, overcast, a little cool, maybe a slight breeze. I know it's been real windy this week, but I don't feel any just yet. Just give me a moment here. I'm trying to make sure I got everything organized. Yeah, sure, that should be just fine. Da-da. So yeah, as the title of the video suggests, this is going to be my first pack opening for Vanguard. I've never done any on stream before. Um, in fact, like when I was really into Vanguard before, I never even had a camera, except for like laptop ones. But yeah, it's a cool card game. It's from Japan, so they do use Japanese size sleeves, and I did pick up a couple. Got my little katana Japanese size for all any of my super cool rares. Gonna get those ready. And this game's been around for about 7 or 8 years. I'm sure you could find a lot of different tutorials for the different types of Vanguard that have been out so far. Original, Vanguard G, Vanguard V. This is the new set called Overdress. They basically, all the old cards are not valid in the Overdress tournaments. I think it's just called Vanguard D for dress, which is kind of weird. I guess the O's look too close to zeros, so they can't do that. So, it's a good time to get into the card game because this has just come out this week. They had the starter decks come out the week prior, and so they also did a couple rules change too. So everybody is more or less in the same boat. Maybe the veterans are know some of the cards that might be coming out before they do because they're going to be pseudo, not exactly reprints, but like cards kind of fit a certain type of theme. You see on the back here, you have 5 different nations for the games to be based around. So think of it kind of like the 5 colors of Magic. But in OG Vanguard, there were like 20 something clans. You had to build cards based on the 20 something variants in the game. But now they all just fit into one of 5 nations. Technically 6, but like we won't get into that because that's not out yet. So, uh, if you could tell, this is a lot smaller than like the uh, Magic booster boxes, even smaller than the Flesh and Blood booster boxes. So I kind of had to get a couple, just a few here, just because I want to get my collection going. It's brand new. I don't know what clan I want to completely start off with, but yeah, we're just gonna just go hard, uh, and we'll see how far I can get in this video because this might take a little bit of time and maybe I'll separate them into parts. Who knows? Who the frack knows? All right, I'll have to actually take some of these back off the table. I'm even move the camera back for emphasis. If you've seen any of my other pack openings, the camera's usually much more zoomed in. But I just wanted to get that emphasis out there. I'm jumping hard into the game, into the newer style of the game. Because I did play when it originally started 8 years ago. I don't know, maybe it's gotten up to 9 now. So it's so weird trying to relate time via the COVID jump and all that stuff. It's almost like the blip from freaking Marvel Universe. It's like, oh, the people that blipped away, they technically are over 21 years old. Oh, you have to make sure that they weren't the people that were gone for 5 years because that means their body is actually like, 15 or 16 instead of counting them at, or I guess 16, 17, 18. Because otherwise they wouldn't be 21 or over when they come back. Yeah, they got a couple little things here. So, as you can see, every single box, their packs are also much thinner because commons are just pretty much jank. You get this nice little pack of like 4 sleeves for what's called your ride deck. You put 4 cards to the side out from your deck, like your 50 card deck, you put them off to the side. And at the start of your turn, you will pick one to ride by discarding a card and immediately put it over your main character. It's a cool little mechanic. It really stunk in the old days when you could absolutely just get, like, pretty much lose the game. Kind of like in Magic, you could get mana screwed. Oh, damn. Nice little double R immediately. Regular rare. You can get ride screwed. Just be like, okay, I'm playing the game like normal, having a good old time, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're gonna just lose the game because half your deck cannot be used until you put the right character on top of your main unit. So yeah, in this game there's really 3 types of rarities, but then it goes kind of nuts with like extra rarities and stuff. There's your normal commons, then you got your rares, and then sometimes you got like your double, triple. And this one is an M. Definitely a different type of rarity that I'm not used to. Was not in the other few sets. You can see that little bottom corner there. So I will have to look that up some other time. Then they got SP, and that's kind of like your full art type of stuff, or I think they also have original art. Then they have, there's too many to list. You'll just have to check it up on TCG Player. So I'm pretty much just going to be skipping all the comments, because those are just here for days. And then another M, which is nice. I can always use more of those, I'm assuming. In the old days, the cards were also listed into 2 different categories. They were either just regular units, which are like this, a regular creature, no, not like this, sorry. Regular units like this, they have their attack. Oh my god, there you go. These are called triggers because of the symbol in the corner. These are regular units. They're just level or grade. Then power down here, text box, etc. Trigger units are 0 grade, a little bit of power. Biggest thing is they have a symbol here to stop attacks from hitting you. And this symbol here means that if they are revealed whenever you attack with your main character or are taking damage, you get additional effects. I'm going to have to not sleeve the double R's apparently, because it looks like they're going to be popping up like crazy. But yeah, this other card that was in the front here, this is something they just introduced in the previous series of Vanguard called Orders. They don't have a power because they're basically like spells or enchantments or even incense from Magic. So they're trying to branch out more and more, get more versatility and creativity going, which is cool. I'm not opposed to that in the slightest. Okay, nice little rare and nice little double. Okay, you know what? Let's be smart about this. All packs here, double rares there. Anything that's not a regular double rare. This guy's technically double rare, but he just looks different. I think it's because he's using the newer mechanic, Overdress. It's the word right next to Trickster in the text box. I don't think you could see it real well. But effectively, you put this right on top of the Trickster card, as long as your Vanguard is grade 2 or above. And he gets additional benefits. There's a couple Overdress cards in the set, as you might have assumed, because that's the series is called Overdress. There we go. I think that's my first triple R. No, it's another M of some sort. Not sure what's up with all these M's. I thought they were supposed to majority of the cards be double R and triple R's, but I've gotten all these M's. Definitely have to look those up later. There we go. That's the regular rare. This one here is the triple R. And this is one of the strongest cards for that clan. Clans are down here. I just call them Royal Paladins, but that's not what they are. I think it's something Sanctuary. Okay, so you can go there. I kind of put these in the wrong spot. Commons and rares have like the exact same symbol. Kind of annoying, but nah, whatevs. I'll have to go through that again later. Got another little double rare here, regular rare there, and commons for days. So yeah, the orders, very new. They started them back in Vanguard V, which is just like the previous set that came out. But at the same time, oh, that's awesome. This is a special type of trigger that I'll go over in just a second. So they introduced it in V, but they didn't really get to go in depth with it almost at all. This is an over trigger. You can't see it very well. I'd have to readjust the camera, but in that corner, instead of the little 10,000 bonus that these other guys have, you could almost read the 10,000. Yeah, you could read the 10,000. Okay. This guy you can't read because it's like 100 million. Just adds nearly unlimited power whenever it's revealed on your attack or defense. It has additional effects at the middle, saying that if it's your turn when this is revealed, you get to perform a drive check for all the rear guard attacks, which is everybody that's not your main character. When they attack, you also get to reveal the top card of your deck and see if it will get additional benefits. Here's the double rare again. Oh no, am I wrong? This guy's actually a triple rare, so I'm glad I put the other one in the sleeve. Just kind of, oh, this guy is the triple rare, but he is different from this guy. They look too similar to me. My bad. And then regular rare and commons. Don't you love it when someone's opening packs online and talking out of their ass basically because they have no idea what they're doing? It's absolutely your favorite thing to do. That's what the internet is for. Just watching people make fun of themselves. Regular rare, another triple. Let's see. I don't know if you guys have, most likely you guys haven't checked out the show. Oh my god, already a SP. So yeah, full art. It's literally just a trigger, but full art. That's why there's no text box. I'm gonna run out of sleeves in this case. This is still my first box. Another M. Maybe M's are just really not important. I have to. God dang it! I just did this. Okay, commons. Definitely go up there. Rare, cool. Rare go there, and this goes here. Maybe I should just go over the very basics of this game, so that way anybody that hasn't checked out any other videos about the game, they at least can understand what I'm doing. So in the Vanguard, you have 50 card deck made up of effectively all creatures, either regular creatures or the ones like this that have a number in the corner. At the start of the game, you put a grade 0 like that, but typically not one of these, not one of the trigger grade 0s. That is your starting character. At the start of every turn, you return from rest all the creatures that you have, put them in vertical or horizontal position, draw a card, and then you get to what's called Ride. Take any card from your hand that is equal or greater, or one greater value from your current Vanguard and put it on top of your character. So you start at 0, you draw the top card of your deck, and you put a 0 or a 1 on top of your Vanguard. And that is now your Vanguard. That's called a Ride. You basically are now a level 1 person. And I did this again. Always fun. So once you have something that is like 1 or greater, you could technically put grade 0s on the battlefield at any time as rear guard. There's 6 spaces on the map. The center front one is your Vanguard. 2 on the sides are your rear guards that can attack. They're your front rear guards. The 3 in the back are they're still rear guards, but they're called your back row because they are able to support things in front of them. Grade 1 and 0s can, once per turn, turn sideways to add their power to the thing in front of them when that thing is attacking. So that's what this little symbol is here, right underneath the 1. That means it could boost the things that are in front of it. Grade 2s have a thing called intercept, meaning that when something in the front row except for them is being attacked, they can sacrifice and add their guard value, their shield value, to the thing that is getting attacked. Let's go ahead and turn it that way so you can read it. 5,000. So let's say this thing was for some reason in the front row. It's only 5,000 power. You sacrifice your grade 2 in the front row while it is being attacked to add 5,000. So it's a 10,000 power creature. Put that there. Put this here. And typically when you attack with anything, you basically just attack if it is tied or exceeds the power of the thing it's attacking, then the other thing is destroyed. If it is an opponent's Vanguard, they will just take a damage. When you take damage, you take the top part of your deck, reveal it, and if it has one of those symbols, oh, now they're all gone. There we go. If it has one of those symbols, you will enact its effect. Some of them will add damage to when you attack. Some of them will give your entire front row power. Some of them will let you draw a card. And then the last one is it'll let you heal. I don't think I got a heal on any of these. Yeah, the heal's probably in one of the rares or commons or something like that. The heal effect is a little different. Its extra benefit is only if you have equal or greater damage than your opponent. If you have less damage than your opponent, the only thing you get is its power, the power bonus. The power bonus for all of the triggers except for the over trigger. The other ones are all add 10,000 power to any one creature. Doesn't matter where it is on the field, any one creature. So that happens regardless of what the rest of the effect is. Then there's front, which adds 10,000 power to everything on the front row. Then there's the draw, which is immediately draw a card. Even if you are taking multiple damage at a time, as soon as you reveal the draw trigger, you will immediately draw a card and then continue checking the rest of your damage. Critical means that when the damage is being dealt, you add 1 extra damage point. So if they've already attacked, if you've attacked with everything in the front row and you reveal critical after the fact, you add the critical probably to the guy that's about to hit, and then the power to somebody else, but the power won't matter at that point. But if you're taking a damage and you reveal critical, it means nothing because the critical effect will go away at the end of turn. I was dividing these up at first just to see what these M's are. Oh my god, there's like so many. SP. Okay, it's OR, triple. So 1, 2, 3. Looks like 4 triple R's, 1 OR, 1 SP. Looks like 5 M's. And then the last thing here are just doubles. These should all just be doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 doubles, 5 M's, 4 triples, 1 OR, 1 SP. No idea if that's normal or not. That was only our first pack, or only our first box. We'll just keep diving on in there. Alright, so I mentioned the benefit of having a grade 0, which most of the time are triggers. 1s are able to boost from the back line. That's their big benefit. Helps overcome opponents' front rows that sometimes might have more power than your guys. And then grade 2s being able to block attacks while they're on the field. They're the only guys that get to do that. The other ways to block damage, if you can tell, the grade 1s also had numbers on the side. They can only use their shield if it's from your hand. If anybody is attacking you, you could take cards from your hand and throw them onto the field as a guard. And then anything that guards, whether it was on the field before or from your hand, it goes to discard pile after the fact. sleeves and that. And then on top of all that, you have your grade 3s. Your grade 3s have two different symbols on there. First, they don't have any shield, so you can't really guard with them. You can technically guard with them, but they don't have a number, so it would have to have another benefit on the field that wants them to be there. Second is they don't have a trigger. So when you're attacking or taking damage, they don't do anything beneficial. The other thing though is this little spirally symbol. That's called Twin Drive. Whenever your Vanguard attacks, you reveal the top card of your deck and check to see if it is a trigger. Regardless of it being a trigger or not, you will put it into your hand afterwards. And so it's extra card every turn. Unless you for some reason decide not to attack with your Vanguard. Then you're a crazy person and you're getting less cards per turn. Then if it's something like the critical, which is the biggest thing that everyone needs, it immediately will deal an extra damage if your opponent didn't block with enough stuff. Always fun. Now let's bump these just so we can compare what we got per box. Yeah, because here we already got just a regular double. I want to make sure that's separate. So yeah, they get to then increase your draw per turn by an extra card. Because you reveal, see if you got an extra trigger, and regardless of getting a trigger or not, it just goes straight into your hand. So now 3 cards per turn once you start hitting your grade 3. The other symbol underneath it, this is an order so it doesn't have it. That weird gold symbol that was underneath the Twin Drive symbol, that one, that's called a persona. It gives you a bonus to everything on your front row for the whole turn after you ride that same exact card on top of itself. So remember at the beginning of the explanation, I said that you could ride your same grade or one greater at the start of your turn, or after your draw basically. So the reason you would ride the same grade, especially is at your grade 3. You get that bonus by putting your Vanguard, or the same exact grade 3 on top of that character. So you definitely want to be running doubles or triples of the Vanguard. Doubles, triples, quads. You can run 4 cards of the same type. Triple rare, fun times. And giving your entire front row plus 10,000 power is always great because your opponent can't really block all that all the time. Double R. Just want to make sure I didn't accidentally put another common stack in here. Good. They look like they're all rares. My common stack is getting a little tall though. I'll have to fix that later. And I think I did mention, oh, got the exact same guy. It's going to be cool if I make multiples of the same clan. So yeah, the point of the game is to get to 6 damage on your opponent. Some of these effects will actually give you more power based on how much damage you've taken. Damage, when you take it, you reveal the top card of your deck, goes over to what's called your damage zone, horizontal like that. And then some effects will want you to take that face up damage and flip it face down to show that you have spent that damage for additional benefits. Sometimes it's like, oh, draw a card by doing this, or this is only a double rare. That is shiny as hell. Never mind. Sorry about that. There are also things that want you to spend the cards underneath your Vanguard, called your soul. Now this guy is an SP, so I gotta sleeve that guy up. Looks pretty chill. The soul is literally just the cards underneath your Vanguard. So it's the stuff that you rode previously. Sometimes you'll play clans that want you to put more and more stuff into your soul and then use that as basically currency. I think the blue side, like this is the red side, it's Dragon Nation. I forgot what the blue side was called. I know there was Dark Irregulars and Grand Blue in the other series. They were the ones that were like, oh, have 100 billion soul. Do cool thing. Almost did that the wrong way. This guy looks like one of the dudes that would want to use soul, but he is not. He is a foresty man. He likes the trees. But yeah, damage, other than just losing, that's the only benefit of damage, really. It can be used as currency. It brings you closer and closer to death. There's the heal symbol. In the previous series, the heal also had a higher shield value. The heal was straight up plus 10 whenever you revealed it, but it was the only thing that had 20,000 shield. So it should pretty much block two, or a single heal can pretty much stop two damage from happening if one was healed when you attacked, and then the other time is you spend 20,000 shield when you're getting attacked. And then at the end of the V saga, pretty much, they introduced a different type of shield that was straight up, I think, like 30 or 50,000 shield value, but they took up a thing called your Sentinel slot. There are cards that actually just straight up say stop an attack coming at you, but you have to discard a card. And then to kind of introduce another format of pretty much stop an attack, they introduced these really strong Sentinels that was just straight up a big shield value, but didn't have a discard cost. And this is just a normal double R. Last pack of this box. Another M. Alright, so let's see how this went instead. Pop that in the shield and see if that was greater or less than. So we got... Oops, did I put the wrong thing in the... Yeah, I did. This is the double R. And this is the M. Oh, so here's the thing I was saying. It stops an entire attack. On the side you see it says 0, but it has a different box than the other shields. Like this is a little gray out shield. This one's straight up a gold. And it says Sentinel here. You can only have four Sentinels at all. Could be the same Sentinel, could be a different one. And then it says when this is put onto the G, which is guard, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit till the end of battle. This is one of the better ones because it says if your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card in your hand and discard it. The other ones just say discard a card and this guy will block the attack. The reason this is different is they guess if you have 2 cards in your hand, or if you have almost no cards left, they don't want you to just not be able to use your Sentinel. So they changed the ruling just slightly, so it gives you a slight benefit over the regular perfect guards, but not such a big benefit that it's like game breaking. Or, you know, your decks can't function without them at all. So yeah, it looks like we got 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 doubles. It looks like 5 M's, 1 over trigger, 1 SP, and 1, 2, 3, 4 triples. So a little bit off from the previous one, but that's not by a lot. I think I'll have to just cut the video after 5. It's still going to be a long video, but I'm going to need some space afterwards. And I put some of my trash up here like a foolish guy. I was a little worried before opening this. I was like, man, if there's only like 2 or 3 double R's in every pack, I'm going to have a hard time getting all the cards I need for full decks. But with them being 5 per, and some of them getting an alternate rarity treatment, maybe I'm going to be okay. Yeah, like I mentioned, those little 4-pack of sleeves, it's for a deck called the Ride deck. The reason you put them to the side, like I said, in the older days, you would be stuck at a grade. So let's say you were at the start of the game, you're grade 0. Your first hand you open up, you have only grade 2s and 3s. You have no way to get to grade 1. You are fucked. Like, royally. Just 150% done. You can't do anything for a whole turn. and you pretty much just pass. You can't do anything. You could attack, and then maybe on your second turn you could do a thing because you drew an extra card, but you are immediately behind a whole turn. If it's turn 2 or 3 and you get stuck, that's not the worst thing that ever happened to somebody, but it is still not awesome. So that's why they have a mulligan rule. You can legit take any cards from your hand, put them back at the bottom of your deck, and draw that many cards. So they try to introduce ways to get around it. Sometimes it helped a lot. Sometimes it was just like, okay, I've pretty much drawn 10 cards and I still didn't get the grade 1 I needed. Or I put aside 4 cards. I have drawn 9 and I didn't get a grade 2, so on my second turn I am stuck. Like it's not really anybody's fault. It's just RNG. Just like in Magic, doesn't matter how many how balanced you try to get your deck, there are going to be times you're just stuck. And it just sucks when you see somebody lose because of that. Letter M. So it's really cool that they implemented a way to just completely get around it. Sorry, M goes over there. And because they introduced that, there's actually a clan, well, nation, that wants to run just a ton of grade 3s. Now, the trade off for that, though, is that if you run a ton of grade 3s, there's no way to buff up your things when they attack because you don't have enough grade 1s in the back to pump up your front line. And then, oops, that's a double. Why did I do that? There's also no way to block attacks with things that are on the field because they can't jump in front of each other when they're on the field. There's just all these grade 3s that hopefully give each other a benefit. Other note is that you could only attack with the first 3 cards on the field, so you might just run out of spaces to put those guys. You're just going to have like 5 grade 3s. That was dumb. And only two front row rear guard circles to attack from. And only 1 could go on your Vanguard too. So some of them do have ways to attack from, like the back row, which is awesome. It's just a very, very aggressive playstyle. Cool to see. Of the other nations, one of them is straight up like the police. You can remove people's units from the field and they go into pretty much like a lockdown, and your opponent has to pay resources to get them back. So it's kind of cool. It's like you give your opponent a lot of power to get their stuff if they really need it. And then some of your guys have benefits, like if you have this many people in lockdown, then your guys get these buffs, which is always cool. And putting your opponent's stuff into lockdown usually doesn't require many resources at all because your deck almost doesn't function if there are no units in lockdown. I don't know too much about the dragon side right now because the main character runs the dragon, but he runs the trickster, the overdress mechanic. And I think as of right now he is the only character in the show that is using that mechanic at all. Other characters in the show mention it's not supposed to be a powerful or reliable mechanic, and they kind of hint on that too in the show. He wins a fight and then like loses almost all the other fights afterwards because it's so swingy. It's absolute a glass cannon build. When it works, you do real well and most likely win. When it doesn't work, you just straight up lose. So outside of the trickster's overdress, I don't know what else the dragon side does. Oh yeah. So the reason I'm zooming in, this is the over trigger for the Dragon Nation, and their benefit is choose one of your vanguards and it gets to stand up and can technically attack again. So you declare your attack. This is one of the triggers. You get to stand your vanguard again and it could attack again. And most likely it'll hit because you just gave it 100 billion attack, 100 million attack. They would have to spend 2 perfect guards to prevent that. One for the first one, one for the second. Okay, that's a double. Got an M. M for me. SP. What? SP for one of the dragon staples. Love it. So again, 1, 2, 3, well, oh, there it goes. I was like, well, that's less double R's. That's weird. But yeah, 5 double R's, 1 SP, 1 over trigger. It looks like 5 and 4. 4 double, 5M, 5 double, or 5 double, 5M, 4 triple, 1 SP, 1 OR. So we're looking pretty darn consistent with these drops. I'm assuming that is supposed to always be the case, but to never say never. I mean, that's still 3 boxes. That's not supposed to make a perfect trend. I'll have to take one of the other ones from off camera because there was only so much space on my desk while I was doing all this good stuff. Oops, throw that over there. I'm also kind of curious where the story is supposed to go for this show. Because the other show, the older ones, it was very much like this guy is the main character, just gets into Vanguard, has like a super ability, kind of like in Yu-Gi-Oh! How he had like the spirit. He has an ability that lets him like win games by like speaking to a different world, pretty much. Like the cards themselves talk to him. This, I don't think it could really be considered spoilers, but this series doesn't have that. Not yet, anyway. It's more like the kid just is passionate in certain points and then ends up pulling a W. That passion triggers his pseudo soul card. I don't know. I'm definitely enjoying the animation, enjoying the story, and I do hope to see more and more of it continue on. Oh, I just realized, like, benefit of doing this early, even though I have 0 viewers because it's early. Yeah, that's totally the reason, right? It's not because I'm not popular. No, it's I don't have as much glare, if any at all, right now because the light from outside is good enough that I don't have to run the light indoors. Okay, double arco there. Dun, dun. M R. Also, after I finish the 5th box here, I want to take a quick breather to go look and see what are the M's. Are they supposed to be real valuable? Or are they basically just other double R's? What exactly is their deal? I think before the real release, the M's were just called like foil rares, which didn't make sense to me. Because it's like, rares are already. Oh, maybe that is it. It's like they're just literally the rares, but just look cooler. I haven't paid a. No, because I thought one of the other. No, that was SP. Well, only time will tell. Double R there. So far, it looks like it only play as 2 decks, though. Hopefully, we get the other over triggers, so that way it can make a completed deck for some of the other nations. I do want to try the police group, because they don't just have the police build. Like, every nation should have at least 2 or 3 decks that could be made with it. The other group that could be made from the police nation are pretty much like the villains from the previous series. They have aliens that create like utter darkness everywhere. And instead of putting out a jail, they can put out the dark world, the abyss. And if you have multiples, instead of it just being like a dark world, it's like pitch darkness or eternal darkness or something like that. And your main guy gets more benefits based on how dark the battlefield is. Man, I think I've gotten like a full playset of the main guys grade 3, which is cool. It's funny because the main guy's grade 3 has effects that only work in the rear. Oh, come on. It's hard to tell, but right next to CONT and auto, there's a little R there. And that means the effect only works if it's in rear guard. So most of the time, the main characters or any of the characters find themselves like befitting the most powerful unit grade 3, and that's their Vanguard. That's going to always be in the Vanguard circle. But his is unique because his whole mechanic is he's attacking from the side. He's like a secondary character, but it's more important than the main character. I don't know. To me, it just seems funny. Alright, so that was cool. The last 2 packs were legit, the Overtrigger and the SP. Just do a quick rarity check. So SP and Overtrigger. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double R's. Triple M, triple. We are extremely consistent at 55411. I thought SPs were supposed to be much rarer though. In the other editions, SPs were legit like once per carton or some nonsense like that. Alright, let me just grab this last guy here. Oh, jeez. How great would it be if I actually nicked myself on the camera and be like, oh, can't let the video post anymore because I got blood all over everybody. Look out, the front few rows are splashing. Yeah. It's also a little interesting that each of these little 4-pack sleeves are supposed to match like the color sequence of different characters that are in the show. I think there's like 7 in total or something like that. If there were less, it's like, oh, we're giving you sleeves and multiples of 4 that if you buy enough boxes, you could literally use for your entire deck. Okay, M, regular rare. I'm not even going to sleeve up the M's for now. Just because it's the last box and there's only like 5. Okay, gotta sleeve up the SP. Put that in the wrong spot. There we go. Alright, let's give a close-up on the SP. I don't know too much about the green side because in the previous series, I think there was only like 2 people that ran it, and they were not there often. At least from my perspective. Maybe they were there a lot more often way late in the series because I kind of fell off once they stopped dubbing it. The current series, Overdress, I've been watching in the subtitled because that was the only way to watch it. More M's. Oh my god. There's so many for this clan. I think I am still missing the blue one and the green one. And This is the triple rare. I don't know why. That guy looks just so laid back. I'm like, oh man, that guy's got to be a lower rarity. Yeah, here's the SP we just got. There's my nice little triple. I definitely feel like I have more than enough of that guy. I think I've opened like 5 boxes, pulled 5. Maybe I pulled 4 and I'm exactly where I need to be, but I have other boxes to open. And just as note, there are rarities above OR and what do they call the other one? Oh, SP and OR. There are, I think, 1 or 2 rarities above that, and those must be what the equivalent of the old SPs were, like incredibly uh, low drop chance. And clearly I have not gotten one. Alright, and this is going to wrap it up, my last triple R. Just want to verify the same numbers for triple, 5M, 5 double, 1 SP, and 1 OR. So yeah, got the 5 doubles right there. OR, SP, 5 M's, and 4 triple. Cool, so it looks like that's going to be the ratio going out, from here on out. That's not bad at all. I think in the previous series, they had effectively every single box had 1 VR, and the VRs were effectively the strongest unit for your clan, and you needed 4 copies of it. So if you were extremely lucky, you had to buy 4 boxes initially in order to have a full deck for yourself. Then later they started introducing like 1 in every 2 or 3 boxes gave you a second VR. So then you maybe needed just like 3 boxes in order to have a full playset. If you landed your clan's VR in every single one, then you had X triples, X doubles, and then just like a ton of R's. Like there are 2 rare slots in every single pack, and definitely seems like you have only a handful of packs that have double rare. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think with that math, you literally have 1 pack that's a double rare. Every pack after that had at least a double rare, triple rare, M, which is, it looks like they are more or less reprints of the regular rares, just in a different art style. Then you have these 2 guys. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely liking it so far. I'll build some decks later and hopefully maybe find people to play with online. That'd be cool to actually stream gameplay. We'll see. So thanks for having a great morning with me.